I've just put a little bit of CA thin on here. And I know that yesterday I was saying that I probably wasn't going to use these other two blanks, in other words this one and this one, because they're different colors, different color of blue. This morning I get up and I check my comments, and one of the viewers, I think his name was Rich, he says, well, the Blue Goose was two or three different colors anyway. I don't remember exactly what he said, but in other words what he was saying is the Blue Goose was different colors in its life. So, in other words, maybe it's a good idea to go ahead and use these two blanks. So I did. This morning I glued in the brass tubes. And here where the wood was really, really thin and punky, I reinforced it with CA glue. And probably if I had have done that before I drilled these other ones through, although I don't know how I could have got the CA glue into this one because it's sort of covered by the acrylic anyway. But the biggest problem was that the walls were just way too thin. Should have been thicker. For instance, these ones here, it's the same brass tubes, and you can see how there's a lot more wall there, and it was a lot less problem. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video I want to talk about what it is I might take on. And yeah, we'll get into that. I don't know if I'm going to actually turn this down today and finish it. I may not. I just wanted to get the brass tubes glued in. I will use these two blanks now. I may end up having a blowout anyway by the time I get through because it's very, very weak. Unless maybe I turn them down on my metal lathe, that's at least I can do a much gentler job. I know that sounds funny, but it's true. Anyway, let's get into what I might be doing, which will probably take me well through into the winter. Here we go. Now, these gears have shown up in some of my videos in the past, and it's possible somebody wondered, what on earth's that? Well, about 27, maybe 28 years ago, I decided I was going to make a clock all out of wood with wooden gears. Now, this would not have been the first wooden clock that I made like that. The first one I actually completed, and it actually worked, and it worked quite well. It just looked terrible. So I wanted to improve on it. And I made up these gears and had them all laid out on a test stand, and everything was meshing properly, and the escapement was working. And anyway, I suddenly realized that I was going to have trouble winding it up somehow, and I had made the mistake of already gluing my shafts into the gears, and that was, things were not lining up too well from that aspect. Not that it wouldn't work. It was going to be a case of, how do I do it? Do I have it so it'll wind up and run for a week? Or do I have it so that it only runs for a few hours to impress my friends when they come over? Yeah, I just sort of lost interest. However, I've got the interest back again. Not with these gears, but I want to start out from scratch. I want to do things a little bit differently. Now I'm using a computer to draw my stuff out. I can sort of draw things and see them through to the end. And that's the plan now. It's going to be a rather large, what you might call a medieval style clock. It'll be something like you would see in a museum. It's going to be real obvious how it works, not like a quartz watch that you can look at it and you have no idea how it works. This is going to be real obvious. At least that's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan.